deposit slips. The deposit slips are verified against the bank statements and traced to the country revenue fund for accountability.
What question are you answering? Because that does not answer the audit query. The auditor is asking for bank statements, official receipts, and control collection sheets for audit verification. In your response, you have not mentioned any of that. It's like you are answering your own question. So, Auditor General, did you get the bank statements, official receipts, and control collection sheets for the other departments? Because you're saying only the Department of Health provided them. Did you get for the other departments?
No. The documents are yet to be provided.
Okay, so that's what we need to deal with. That is a question. Director, did you read this audit query?
The bank statements for the country revenue fund have all been shared with the auditors for that particular financial year.
Professor, this is a problem that I've been speaking about from the beginning. Your guy tells us they've been shared with the Office of the Auditor General. So it means that us, we are irrelevant. Why are we having this session? Why, you know why you can present it for this exercise. And you know, I've found, Professor, and that's why I'm not limiting this conversation to only you as a CEO, because I've found in many cases, you officers tend to do a lot of shady things that even the governor might not be aware of. So we will also be putting officers on the spot, especially where there are queries that relate to their functional domains. Like these revenues, if you have a director of revenue, really he needs to be giving us better explanations than what we are getting. He's not dealing with the audit query.
Mr. Chairman, my understanding is that the bank statements have been given to the auditors. I don't know why the auditors are not accepting
The Auditor General, as I said, the only thing they got was for the Department of Health.
So, did you give all bank statements? I don't understand.
What date and in what form?
The bank statements were given together with responses, as indicated.
Which responses? The ones that we have.
The ones that we have.
Can you point us to the page or the annexure that has the statements?
No, they were given during the audit exercise on the ground.
Auditor General. We'll put you on oath, Director Revenue. Professor, your guys are making our work hard unnecessarily. This was a very simple matter of providing bank statements, official receipts, control collection sheets. That is a question, and the answer does not deal with that. What we expect is to be told that the bank statements for the Trade Department, bank statement for whichever other department have been provided to the Auditor General, refer to Annex XYZ for a sample. It does not even have to be the entire thing. It can just be a sample, and then mark the matter as result.
That's the final response, please, because this is a very simple thing.
Mr. Chairman, through the governor, the statements were provided, but again, given 2 days, we can bring another submission. If the General says he can't look at it.
It cannot be, we cannot take it with seriousness that you say they were provided, and the Auditor General, who has a constitutional responsibility and who's bound by certain codes of professional conduct, says that they did not receive it.
Chair, the auditor says only the
those relating to the Department of Health were submitted. Could that be what is causing confusion with you, Masisi? Because if they were provided for all other departments, the auditor would not deny. How would they deny that they have received one and say they have not received from another? And during the audit process, I don't know how you demonstrate that it was given during the audit process, because they are not usually acknowledged that I have received until we do this exercise. And what the chair is saying, you can save yourself a lot of trouble by just annexing them to both the responses to them and the responses to the committee, so that we can just open a page and say, Auditor General, these statements are here. So as it is right now, you have put us in an awkward situation.
Chair, I wanted to clarify that it's only Health Department which has got its own bank account. All other revenues go to one revenue account, and it is that one revenue account whose statements were given to the auditors. So it's only Health that has an individual revenue account. All the rest go to one account.
Senator Omar?
I ask again because I asked before. You prepare bank reconciliation. And when? At what?
Chair, we do prepare bank reconciliations on a monthly basis.
Is that time when you have?
We release by the 5th of every month.
5th of every month. Then if you do 5th of every month of the joint account you're talking about, then how comes you cannot surrender the statement? Because bank reconciliation is more of statement.
In addition to what the Director of Revenue said, all the others go to the CRF. It's that help that improve an FIF and the other arrangement that goes to a different account. If you look at the annex on page 37, we break down figures from the CRF for that particular year to say which one came from which department. So basically, that's what we can do if all the money goes to one account and we are provided statements of that account. We can only give a breakdown of the one that we have given on page 37, including Department of Agriculture, Commerce, Lands, Education, and every other, roads.
Well, your serious problem with revenue management, a serious problem. I've tried to listen to the director, and I thought he was going to shed light on issues. The receiver, this financial year, the receiver of revenue statements were not being prepared. So your entity started preparing them in 2021, 2022. Isn't that the case, OAG?
It is true, Mr. Chairman.
So ordinarily these queries would fall within the receiver of revenue report. But I'm looking at the receiver of revenue report, your receiver of revenue statement. The opinion of the Auditor General disclaimer. A disclaimer. You know what that means. You have employed someone as director or receiver of revenue. How then do you get a disclaimer? Because disclaimer means you did not provide any documentation to support your receipts. You've got a serious problem. And it's just that today we are not going to go into this report. But when you're preparing to come and discuss this report, do a lot of soul searching on the manner in which revenue is being managed in Kisumu County. I don't know whether you've got a revenue board or it's just a departmental responsibility.
We have a revenue board, which was established 5 months ago.
5 months ago.
Yeah.
Let them look at this report as a matter of priority, so that they can take the necessary corrective action to ensure there's transparency in management of revenue. So again, we are leaving issue 1.3 without having clarity on whether these questions were supported, but we'll have that discussion at our next session when you're looking at the receiver of revenue statement. Let's go to the next issue on unsupported adjustments in the financial statements. Auditor General, is this resolved or this is outstanding?
The part of it is resolved, that part of it is outstanding.
Okay, then read it out.
Unsupported adjustments in the financial statements. Management submitted financial statements to the Auditor General on 30 September 2021 in line with the Public Management Finance Management Act 2012. A revised set of financial statements was submitted on 21st March 2022 with general interest to support the changes in the previous balances not provided for audit review. The changes are as detailed below. There was country-owned generated receipt, compensation of employees, use of goods and services, other grants and transfers to other government entities, social security benefits, acquisition of assets, cash and cash equivalents, and prior year adjustment. In the circumstances, the accuracy of the financial statements could not be confirmed. Chair, I wish to confirm.
I'll allow the county to first respond.
Mr. Chairman, we have attached the respective journals for the audit review, and the variances of 14,334,104 and 30,314,503 are reported by the auditor on other grants and transfers and social security benefits are inaccurate. The correct variances are 17,334,104, which is the difference between 301,528,723 minus 291,194,619 and 11,139,474 shillings, which is again the difference between the figures in brackets 32,45,061 and 21,305,587 for other grants and transfers and social security benefits respectively. We have provided the Annex 10 to the amended financial statements, which are correcting those inaccuracies from page 50 to 122, and also another set of annexes correcting the statements from page 36 to 108 in the annexes.
Why are you disputing the figures of the Auditor General, and yet the report that I have here under row number 4, other grants and transfers, the difference is 17.3 million. Are we looking at the same report? So why are you disputing that? And row number 6, social security benefit, the difference is 11.1 million. So what's the contention?
The head of reporting can help.
Thank you, Chair. That was a corrected analysis. You can provide the original analysis and you'll see the variances.
I don't understand you.
Are you saying the table at page 2 is the
We corrected it.
So the original should be in the audit report itself?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll find it strong.
No, I'm still not following.
We tried to do correct analysis.
You have said here,
Yes.
the variances of 14.3 and 30.3 as reported by the auditor on other grants and transfers are inaccurate.
Yes, from the report.
Which other report? And I'm seeing the same figure here, because you can cast doubt on the work of the Auditor General.
In fact, Chair, I have the actual audit report here with me, unless we are looking at...
Yeah, please test it.
Yeah, so at page 3 of the Auditor General's report, other grants and transfers is the same figure, 17,334,104. I sent out an original Auditor General's report.
True.
Auditor General, is it possible to have 2 reports from your office for the same financial?
Let's get the figures from.
It's not possible.
Do you want?
What may have happened is that they may have released their own financial statements and probably not submitted them to us.
Which we don't have a copy of that old Auditor General's report that we see. Do you have it?
We can share the email that this question originated from, and along we are trying to argue with them to accept the correct position of the
There's no arithmetic error here. The figures you are asserting to be true are the figures in the Auditor General's report. So when for you to say that the Auditor General is inaccurate, you must give us the basis for that, because what you are saying should be the figure is what is in the Auditor General's report. And there's only one report that is made on the table of the Senate. We have no visibility on the ML as Senate. We have no visibility on the draft report. The only thing that is visible to us as a Senate is this report that was tabled on 19th of October 2022. And this is the report that should be responding to, not other private conversations with the Auditor General.
Chair, if you allow us, we complete the evidence to show that.
Which other evidence outside this report that was tabled in the Senate, which other evidence do you want to introduce?
The original audit claim.
Prof, can you teach your guys how to deal with these things? How can we be discussing a management letter? The Senate only discusses the Auditor General's report as tabled in the House. And that must be the basis upon which your team responds.
Chairman, I was just asking you to give him a hearing. What he's trying to explain to you? What are you trying to explain?
Well, he wants to give us another report of the Auditor General away from this. And this is the only report that we have.
Chair, could I please ask? I asked a question and it was brushed aside. Did you have management meetings between yourselves and this team and the exit meeting?
We do have, and we did have a exit meeting as required by the Public Audit Act. And our audit engagement is normally continuous, so we are always together. Okay.
So you've been meeting this
And
team?
we have minutes to this effect that we met. And
You've been meeting and you've been discussing?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Prof, I get a feeling that your team was not very well prepared for this session, because I would not expect this. And Auditor, when you saw this response, did you, because you saw this earlier, what feedback do you give back to the county?
Oh, of course, we told them that that kind of defense is not necessary, is not right.
Chair,
Yes,
we can also confirm that after the response by the client, our team had a virtual meeting to discuss the response and the report of the Auditor General in preparation to come to Senate. So there are preparations, and I think this issue is already interrogated at that level, because our procedures require that before we come to Senate, we must have a meeting with the client to discuss the issues. It is on that basis we now prepare this brief that comes to Senate. Thank you, Chair.
now to the substantive thing, because this is arising out of what we have just been discussing, is arising out of your response, where you're disputing the Auditor General's numbers, and yet the numbers that we have seem to be the numbers that, you are disputing something that we don't have visibility of. Let's take other grants and transfers, where the difference is 17.3. Yeah. So, and this is what I was alluding to earlier, Prof, that you resubmitted your financial statements in March 2022. That was 9 months later. So the question the Auditor General is asking, the journals that made those adjustments, how come at the end of the financial year, you had 308 million, and then when you restated your financial statements, it went down to 291 million? What are the journals supporting that variance of 17 million? Auditor General, is that the question you're asking?
Sure, that's
Yes.
what we're asking.
Yes. So give us that.
The journals are, as I said, the response and the pages are different, but I'm saying specific journals can be presented by the director, but the journals are 60 pages, and the other set of journals are 70 pages. Sorry.
Seriously, what do we have to us?
We have a set of journals making the correction to financial statements.
Which one do we have in the pack? In the pack here. Because that is what the Auditor General was asking for. That is why this matter found its way in the final audit report. So just illustrate to us the journals, and we can pick
One of them is on page 36, Mr. Chairman. The 38 of
36 is Yes. Yes.
Yeah. There's a journal at 36 and 38. Is that also the one for 85 million?
Yes.
So you have only those two.
You're moving faster than I am. Page 36 is the one headed Annex 855A.
Yes.
This 121. 54 use of goods and transport to other government entities. 17.
Okay, just explain to us that what you have on page 36.
So, thank you, Chair. What brought the movement of 316, 796, 178? The journal was passed to affect two accounts. One of the accounts was also revenue that was debited, and the prior adjustment was credited to sort out the correction why the movement went from 931 to 1.2 billion.
Auditor General?
We can see the document, but there are no supporting documentation to show why that adjustment was done. Those are the questions we are asking.
It's not just the JV, because there must be something to support, because you're saying on source revenue.
Yes.
As at 30th September, you reported 931 million. When you resubmitted your financial statements, it had jumped up to 316 million. Even when you're passing that journal, shouldn't there be a schedule that then describes that additional revenue?
Yes, Chair. There is a schedule that supports that. Just opposite that journal, yes, sorry, it is faint. The 316 came from health, which was not included when the first set of...
Can anyone make sense of page 37? What information can we make on this?
I thought it's the same with the 26 up to 32. It's the same issue, they annexed in the first audit.
Do the capacity include lack of a photocopier?
Perhaps your team can take us through the one on page 38, because I can see there is a clearer document attaching it. Next to it, page, it's labeled 51, but should be page 39.
Okay.
You said your title is?
Financial reporting.
Please, take us through the document at page 38 so that we get some clarity.
Thank you very much. The movement, so two accounts affected.
Yes.
The first account was use of goods, and the next account that was affected was compensation of employees.
Yes.
So use of goods increased by the supporting schedule that you are seeing alongside, and compensation of employees reduced by the same amount. So the schedule, if you look at it, the transactions are not payable in nature. Most of them are interest that were taken to address operations activities. So we saw during the audit review that they were not part and parcel of compensation of employees, but were supposed to be considered as use of goods. And that's why use of goods increased.
But use of goods increased by 134 million, not just 85.
Yes, Chair. At times we find movement coming from other votes. So if we add plus other votes which I believe are listed here, we'll see that it moved. If we put them together, will be a total amount of movement.
Is that the journal at page 54?
Let me check. Yes, you see, that place again, you see use of goods is also affected.
So, as the chair's question, if you add that amount, does it come to the total figure that the chair was speaking to?
It doesn't, because this is 1.1 that relates to row number 5.
Yes. So it can, okay. My brother, Senator Sifuna, seems to be being the witness. I don't know why. From my understanding. Yeah. I know today, maybe because of yesterday prayers, a bit mild, but he's guiding the witness for some time now.
I don't think if I seek clarification from witness, I'm guiding the witness.
Senator Sifuna, just remember that you are not doing a cross-examination on your client.
Yes.
Yeah, we are prosecuting a rather different matter from your usual court proceedings. But that's on a light note. Perhaps maybe what we must now ask the Auditor General, what did you want to see to close this query?
Chair, just before my colleagues answers that question, I want to point out to this committee that the JV that we're just looking at the next 855 CR, this is the JVs were passed in the month of October. And the final copy of the financial statements that was certified was done in February, March. So if these JVs were available in October, then why were they not given to the audit? Thank you, Chair. Then my colleague can come.
Yeah. So that's the question that we've been asking all along on all the other issues. Auditor, what did you said this is unresolved. So what did you expect to see?
Some of them are the STB and they are supporting corresponding entries, but they are big accounts. That's what I wanted to say. That up to today we have not received any annual entries and we don't know to.
Which ones are they?
This is cash and cash equivalents, an amount of 48 million. Then 358. There were some prior year adjustments of 434 million, 410 and 432, and also of goods and services. There was an amount of 134, 378, 954.
And on use of goods, is that what he was trying to explain as movements from compensation of employees?
Yes, but it should have been demonstrated to us that indeed the figures that add up to this probably from compensation from employees. We are not sure what it is up to now.
Now that we are on issues of financial statements, who signed these ones? Who was a signatory to this account, to statements? Kezia Okok. Kezia is still in the county?
Yes, she is.
Is she part of this delegation?
She's not.
Kezia has since been replaced. She was acting director of accounting services, head of this unit, and the position has been filled by a substantive officer. Kezia is no longer in charge.
Who is now the head of accounting services?
Martin Opio, who unfortunately had an accident and is not with us here today. But we are recruiting a new head of finance.
Is Wilson Opondo still active?
He is in the county, but he's not the chief officer of finance. We have since deployed Wilson and recruited a new chief officer of finance. He's sitting here today.
When you have to restate your financial statements, first of all, auditor, it's allowed.
Yes, it is allowed in accountancy, and we don't know details.
What are the timelines? Is there a timeline in which the financial statement should be frozen and not with?
Well, once the Odinga pays her signature, they cannot be released. But between the time they are produced up to the time she signs her, she pays her signature, the financial statements can be revised. Thank you.
Revision of financial statements is meant to deal with errors and inaccuracies.
True, sir.
So when you revise your financial statements and you still have an adverse opinion, what does that tell you?
There is poor record keeping, or somebody has not supported anything.
Yeah, Prof, because that revision really should move from an adverse opinion to maybe a quality opinion. Because then it will give you the opportunity to support your expenditure and receipts. And that's why I'm very keen on the professional who signed these financial statements. Because you've been given an opportunity to redeem yourself, but you still find yourself in the same position. So again, these are things that we must put pressure on the professionals who have that responsibility. I think we should have gotten a different opinion on this. If you had been given another 9 months to resubmit your financial statements. There are 2 lines there that are still outstanding. Now, Auditor General, find out whether you can get the notice to go to the Prof, is your team able to support the movements and the use of goods and services and the cash and cash equivalents? Those are the ones the Auditor General has kept pending.
Yes, we can, and those supporting documents are actually given later.
Auditor General, is it true that you're given the supporting documents? I'm talking about 2 specific lines, the ones that you cited: use of goods and services and cash equivalents.
Sure, just for record. They agree.
Which is the third one?
There is the prior adjustment.
Prior adjustment.
Of 437.
Was anything presented to you to explain those movements?
No.
The Auditor General says that was provided. And I think we are now starting to get a feeling that your team is misleading the committee. This is not the first time you have said that you had given the Auditor General something and then they have refuted. I think if you get the 3rd instance of misleading the committee, we'll have to adjourn. So, can you cause the documents to be presented to the Auditor General within the next 7 days?
So, Chairman, that's the best we can do because we have the document.
Okay, I think that's the best way to resolve this because I don't want to get into the counter accusations between the office of the Auditor General and the client. But I must tell you that where there is doubt, we will go with the word of the Auditor General. Let's get to issue of employees, compensation of employees, unsupported wages. Auditor General, is this still outside?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This is compensation of employees, unsupported wages. The statements of receipts and payments reflect financial 4,464,057,566 and compensation of employees. However, the payroll provided to support the figure had a balance of 4,858,578, resulting to a variance of cash receipts 3,198,998. The variance was reconciled as below. We have shown it there, with salary deductions, cash flows, contracted medics, and an amount of 69,547,000 that was not explained. No explanation for paying the 2019-2020 salaries amount to Kenyans 308,975,405 in the financial year. The review of the constrained budget for 2019-2020 was received and authorized. Further, the reconciliation reflects an explained variance of Kenyans 69,580,147. Consequently, the accuracy of the compensation of employees amounting to 4.4 billion could not be confirmed.
Okay, Governor.
I think that, Mr. Chairman, the events that is referred to was occasioned by delaying the disbursement of equity share, which resulted in payroll for June 2021 actually getting paid in the subsequent financial year. The outstanding 69,580 was never supported at the time of audit. It relates to pay the pay as you earn for June 2021 that was actually paid in August 2021. And we have attached a payment schedule dated August 31st, August 2021. It is Annex 856 on page 107. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if Peter has it, but we have it here. Page 107. 107. Some people don't have it, but we have the annex here. It can be. But page 117 is blank.
107 is blank.
Yeah.
Well, we know we cannot take documents directly from you. Something that has been reviewed by the Auditor General.
Mr. Chairman, it was submitted and reviewed, just the compilation that did not include it. We're not submitting it now.
Auditor General, have you seen what it is that they are referring to, which ought to be on page 7?
Chair, we can confirm that 856 annex was blank from it was not supported.
Because you said you received the responses by email.
Yes,
or
Chair.
it was in hard copy.
Yes, through email.
Through email. Prof, what do you suggest?
Mr. Chairman, I think there is a concurrence between the auditors and ourselves on the document received, because if there are no concurrence, there's very little you can do as chair, really, and I apologize for that. This may require an adjournment for the two parties to come to terms with the document they're bringing here.
I saw Senator Methu is left.
He walked out.
Or he walked out. Prof, Senator Dulo, I think from the beginning of the meeting, was afraid that her and I would find ourselves conflicted in running this meeting because we have been colleagues in the House. But I think we must do the job that we must do. And as I've said, we rely on precedents, some of which were established by you when you are on this chair. We had a lengthy discussion at the beginning on our readiness to proceed today. Even the 2020-2021 that we are attempting to go through, technically, the timelines within which the responses were submitted. You said you received them on Tuesday. Tuesday.
We received them on Tuesday 9th.
Was that clerk? How many days did we ask the clients to respond?
7 days. It was supposed to be on the 8th.
So they should have responded by
8th of Monday 8th.
By Monday. The 8th. And we just took. We decided to be pragmatic and said, let us not be too fixated with those timelines. But now it is emerging that that delay is now causing those inconsistencies that you're talking about. And because we didn't just want to stay back home for delaying to respond by day. I think Senator Dulo advised that let's make lemonade out of it. But it appears that we might not be able to make a lot of progress if the Auditor General says this and the County Executive says something else. Honourable members, under these circumstances,
can I ask something? I think we have been very magnanimous with our brother, my neighbor. I've been very cautious because he's a very good neighbor. He has all the sugar factories I don't have. So I was very careful not to antagonize him. I might rule where the cash. What I'm trying to grasp is that we have been anonymous. If it was another entity or another client, but we could not proceed. But my only concern, Governor Professor Anyang, SG Emeritus, does some of these colleagues or your colleague work with in the county, have they been having meetings with the auditor's office? Because we have option of taking only the opinion of the auditor. They have been not concurrent. It looks like they have never had any of the meetings to harmonize this, and these are just public issues that should have been resolved at some point or at the lowest level there before being escalated to the Senate. So, Governor, is it that since you have given these gentlemen and ladies a free hand, they say responsibility, leadership comes with a lot of responsibility. These gentlemen, when you do your cabinet meetings, when you have a form of progress reporting, have they had a chance of sitting down with the Office of the Auditor General? Because it looks some of these that looks like disjointed. Maybe an entry meeting, exit meeting, trying to build. Because I've heard your CEC saying it is capacity. We were not doing this. We were not doing this. Maybe just a clarification before we proceed. We make a decision.
Mr. Chairman, through the Governor, I would like to clarify that meetings have been held. The auditors themselves outlined the number of meetings, from the entry meetings to the exit meeting and to the other meetings which are minted, including meeting just before we came to the Senate for this session to cross-check documentation. So, Mr. Chairman, I wouldn't say more than that, but just confirm that the meetings that were held and the auditors also confirmed the same.
But if meetings were held, how can this annexure be blank?
Or even checking of the documents.
Because
the auditors had said they received an email. Sorry.
When I walked into this room, I was really excited looking at the way these documents abounded. And I said content must be also the same. And somebody actually warned me, but now it has come to pass.
I think Senator Nyong'O said it's like wearing a dera.
Now, if you look at even some of the documents, page 122, 123, you'll see that there is a lot of actually errors in the way the documents are presented. So I think, personally, I would say having known for many years, his staff are the ones letting down. I think he needs to crack the whip, because this is unacceptable.
Now, Prof, from the submission of your CC, even if we give time or we gave them time to engage the Auditor General, what are they going to do differently? Because your team seems to be saying that they have already done what they're supposed to do. So what else is there for them to, if this is what they're calling their best? Annexures that cannot be read, missing, blank pages, and CC says they have already done their best.
The Chairman, that is not their best. I think that's something that can be corrected. I think our responsibility is really to go back between the executive and the auditors and make sure that proper things are done before they brought before the Senate committee, because we have seen here what is wrong, and rational people, the next thing is correct what is wrong, and make sure that before it is set before the Senate, that you are assured that what is coming before you is what we need to discuss. I think that's the best that I can promise.
Yeah, because if the documentation was we would have even taken written responses in most of the cases, but under the circumstances, it's very difficult for us to do so. There is a matter when you are doing the brief that caught the attention of the committee. it's one matter that can look at, even not just see how you have responded to it, because the Auditor General has flagged something relating to legal fees, which has been appearing in the financial statements of Kisumu County for a very long time. Now, Auditor General, maybe this could be the last thing we are dealing with before then we consider the adjournment request by the governor. Operating expenses, legal fees in relation to collection of rates. What was happening here is that you've got a legal fee that is earning interest. As we sit here, there's interest that is taking away money from other courses of development. So could you just read your finding and then we see what the county has to say about it and see whether this matter can be dealt to their logical conclusion.
Thank you, Chair. This is another operating expenses, paragraph 5.1, legal fees in relation to collection of rates. The statement of receipts and payments for the year ended 30th June 2021 reflects expenditure on use of goods and services of Kenya shillings 1.1 billion, that 1,806,559 as disclosed in 7 to the financial statement. Including the balance of Kenya shillings, the balance in Kenya shillings 1,319,305 in respect of other operating expenses, which further includes Kenya 46,572,175 for legal fees in relation to cases between the county government and the law firm engaged for debt rate correction by the Department of Council of Kisumu. However, the following issues were noted in respect of legal fees paid so far. According to case in the High Court of Kisumu, the law firm was engaged by the defunct Municipal Council of Kisumu to collect and then outstanding rates, and the firm was to retain 15% of the rates corrected as their fees for the service. The firm collected over Kenya shillings 40 million as unpaid rates, but failed to remit the money of the Municipal Council of Kisumu or their successor, as per the affidavit by the former Chief Officer, Department of Finance, dated 16 February 2017. The contracted law firm further sought from the court and had the certificate of cost pursuant to the taxation judgment entered in favor of the law firm against the county government for Kenya shillings 148,249,465, including interest at court rates from the 7th December 2015. The court allowed parties to agree on mode of settlement as per the court order. The two parties entered in consent, and from there from the consent, the court ordered that the outstanding decreed debt that stood at Kenya shillings 115 million in respect of the law firm be paid in installments. According to the report of the Auditor General for the year 2017-2018, the county had so far a total of Kenya shillings 41 million 7,2,000 that towards the legal fees. During the period of review, the note of Kenya shillings 20 million was paid by the county government. However, the minister reconciliation and advocate fee note in respect to the legal fees charge was not provided for audit review. In the circumstances, the validity of the expenditure of Kenya shillings 46,572,072 will not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, what was the county's response to that?
Mr. Chairman, our response is that the case is active and the decree order has been moving to court enforcement through the civil application numbers that are there, versus the county secretary and the others. The Attorney General are also given an advisory on the settlement of this decree alongside others, and there is an Attorney General's later. We have attached the Attorney General's advisory and reconciliation of the legal fee in relation to this case in the Annex 109. So if you look at annexes on page 109 to 124, which give you the statement from the lawyers and the matter in terms of what they are owed on page 109 and how the balance is running. And then it also gives you on page 111 communication between the lawyer and the county government, indicating that the matter is active. On page 114, the lawyer presents 115. Actually, the lawyer presents a calculation of the balance as at 30 December 2021, and on page 116, the payment schedules are provided there and highlighted what amount has gone to the lawyer, and then we have the advisory from the Attorney General of the Republic on page 117, which requires statements, and to show that the matter is still in court, there is 125, which is a raised education. But Chairman, if you allow me again through the Governor, we brought with us the County Solicitor, who is on top of this issue and may explain to the court since it's a legal matter. I mean to the Senate, sorry.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Through His Excellency Professor Nyong'O, I'm in office.
How old?
Months old, beginning of the year. The county attorney is not with us since a week ago. Now, in respect of this matter, aware of my role as an advocate on the High Court of Kenya and also my responsibility to the nation, I do sincerely think that there are facts that are out there which have yet to reach the Senate. If
can you use your mic?
Thank you. I think that the facts that attend to this case, which are still out there, which, in all honesty, the Senate needs to have. The management's response was forwarded before these facts reached us. This matter is actually not about one case. This matter is about 108 cases. It starts off with the first case that was filed by the Municipal Council of Kisumu, which had queried whether the advocate were engaged to collect rates had accounted for the rates that he collected. So there was an originating summons that was filed, I believe, Senator Sifuna's Rugay will understand your network coordinating summons. So the advocate was challenged to account for the funds that he collected, which he did not remit. In answer to this case, he filed 97 cases where he was seeking taxation of his bills, various bills. In respect of work that he has been handling, he was handling for Municipal Council of Kisumu. Some of the briefs related to matters that were not rates. So it is classified as fees in relation to collection of rates. That is all. Upon taxation of the advocates.
Just could I intervene? So what is he asking for payment for?
Thank you, Senator. The advocates' fees were taxed. It was taxed, and the taxation was defended by the Municipal Council. It was not an expert matter, and the court defined that that advocate was owed by Municipal Council a total of 179 plus million shillings. Now, in respect of the OS that was filed by Municipal Council, what could be demonstrated was 23 million. That was net set off, and in the process, what the county owed reduced to 150 million. This 150 million is supposed to attract interest. Now, I have studied the file, and there's a case for calculation of interest. I am aware that interest is not supposed to accrue on decree beyond 6 years, section 44 of the Limitation of Actions Act. This matter is active in court, and as we are talking, I am aware that it will be mentioned on the 18th of this month. I do have a lot.
And to ask you, the dispute to have is about the calculation of the amounts that are supposed to be paid because of the payment of the tax. Is that a major dispute, or is it the legitimacy and existence of this matter?
There is a judgment in respect of this matter.
Yes.
And therefore, when a query says that no fee note was presented, I think, with due respect, the SOA may not have appreciated the issue. It is not legal fee.
Okay, what did the judgment say? I've looked at it here, but in simple terms, explain to us so that we can understand.
That the advocate was owed after netting of what he had not accounted for, 150 million.
Are you comfortable with that ruling? And I remember you're a public servant.
Yes.
So you have to work within the law.
And I'm looking you straight in the eye. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart the truth, as here. This is a matter that went through a judicial process.
Okay.
About 4 judges handled this matter. There is my former classmate, Justice Majanja. He handled the matter. There's Justice Nui. There's Justice Maina. And there's Justice Chemite. It has gone through the process. Yes.
Can I ask what was the general conclusion? Out of the 4 judges?
It was entered in favor of the advocate in the sum of 150 million.
So what is important now? What is the contention?
There has been enforcement proceedings. Now, in answer to the enforcement proceedings, we have raised a case where we are challenging whether or not the advocate competition is correct. We are questioning, for instance, whether interest is supposed to be paid beyond 6 years from the date the judgment came about, and like the provisions of Section 4 of the Limitations of Action Act. So on that basis, we are challenging the figures. So it's a question of figures.
Why is that? Why is the information in the written management response? Because that is what, when we do our retreat to write a report on this matter, we probably not recall what you say. We'll be learning what we see here, and what we see here is just an admission. The AG has given advisory, and the AG's advisory, paragraph 44, says that based on the foregoing, the general principles that the county government would like to properly settle all legal fees found in accordance with the advocate's remuneration or arising from legal services provided. You have also cited supposed verbal directions to the payment from the office of the Auditor General. Governor, how do you confirm that? You said that there are some supposed verbal directions stopping the payment. Can the Auditor General stop payment by a county government?
No, the Auditor General cannot stop any payment.
So what is this in your written response?
Mr. Chairman, the issue raised by the Auditor General in another report, and not this one, but actually raising issues with the money that were not related to the municipal council by the advocate. And that part of stoppage of payment is not accurate.
What was it?
Yeah.
But there is already a determination on this matter. You understand where I'm coming from? There's already determination. The Auditor General will not stop payment of anything, not even the OG. Control of budget.
Yes, I think there is some lack of synergy from this end to your end.
It's true, Mr. Chairman, that the details of the application, I think the fact that put in response are: one, the clearance by the Attorney General that the payment is legitimate, like that through that advisory. The second fact that we have put is that the matter is, however, still active in court. As to the nature of the issues that are being contested in court, we have not annexed documents as we should have run the full application in court. which say that the issues, the details of the application in court are A, B, C, and as the council solicitor has explained, the issues being contested in court relate to the interest, the issues being contested in court relate to the calculations. So beyond the letter on page 125, maybe we should have annexed the full application. Otherwise, we do not have any evidence that says the payment is illegitimate. So we will get the full application. The issues that are contested in court, I don't think they fully affect the legitimacy of the